All right, friends, happy Friday and welcome to this webinar. I love doing these series with the fine folks over at Mirabel Technologies, the magazine manager and the newspaper manager. By the way, they've got a new release that just came out. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely check it out. The search functionality is amazing. The speed of the system is amazing. I mean, basically within a couple of clicks, you can find everything that you need. So if you're a customer and haven't checked it out, you need to do that. And if you are not using the magazine manager or the newspaper manager as your CRM, definitely give them a call and set up a demo because I don't know what I would do without my CRM in my daily sales life. And let me just tell you this, friends, salespeople out there, okay, I don't know a superstar sales rep that does not use a CRM. I don't know what I would do. Now, I don't know if it's maybe because I'm over 40 that I forget things. I'm closer to 50 than 40, by the way. But if you forget things a lot or you want to stay on track end to end, all the way from sales prospecting, all the way through the billing process, thank you to those fine folks. Because those of you that know me well, you know that I do nothing for free. So this webinar would not be for free today if it weren't for the fine folks over at Mirabel Technologies. All right, for those of you that don't know me, how are you? My name is Ryan Dohrn. Thank you for being here, all 500 some of you today. That's just thrilling to me that you support me in this way. My family appreciates it, as well as our horses appreciate it because they're expensive. My company is Brain Swell Media. My podcast is Ad Sales Nation, now on Spotify. So you can find it Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. My training system is 360 Ad Sales, and that's what I do. I travel around the country. I come to companies just like yours. I was with Key Media in Toronto. I was with Smart Meetings out in the San Francisco area here just this last week, and I was with Rodman Media in New Jersey here just earlier this week. So glad to be out and about and love to come to your office. For those of you that don't know, I've done nothing but media sales and marketing for 28 years. That's it. And I still sell media today. So I started in college, Advanced Publishing, and my last post as a group publisher was with Penwell Publishing. I still sell media. Why? Why do I torture myself? I love the media business. Absolutely love the media business. So some 500 magazines and newspaper titles later, I've trained over 15,000 ad sales reps in 7 countries, and thrilled, and I love it. Absolutely love my job in the newspaper and magazine business. And as of a couple months ago, the total amount of revenue that my company and I have touched has just over $500 million in total revenue. Man, I wish I would have got paid commission on all of that. But we're really pleased that our programs are working and are resonating. For more information on how you can get in touch with me, head on over to the website 360adsales.com, online training classes, and some virtual events coming up for sales managers and salespeople, just like all of you. And of course, check out the podcast as well. Let's get started. We're going to start with this quote, and we're going to end with this quote from Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about today, you might have heard me talk about before. Not a lot of the things, but some of the things. So here's my question for you. Why aren't you doing something with it? Take this advice, friends, and do something with it, because sales is tough out there today. And any tool you can get to put another arrow in your quiver for success in sales is so unbelievably important. All right, some overall thoughts on media kits, all right? First of all, get sales involved from day one. Publishers out there, if you want to know why it is that your salespeople don't use the media kit, it's because you designed it. Sorry, I'm just, hey, I was a publisher. I just realized how tough of a gig it was, and I went back to sales, okay? If you don't involve salespeople from the beginning, it's no wonder that they're not going to use the tool sets. Also, you've got to ask yourself, you know, the tools that you're putting together, are they what the salespeople actually need? Okay, all the salespeople out there are like, oh, Ryan, preach it. Hey, publishers, I love you guys. I love you folks because you pay my bills. Salespeople, okay, don't be a bunch of whiners out there. Okay, use the tools that are presented, and today, hopefully, you'll see some great takeaways as well. Second overall point, out of all the media kits I examined, I downloaded for this presentation, most of them, friends, you could remove 50% of the text from your current media kits. They are written like a book, And they're supposed to be a sales tool, not a book. It's not your magazine. It's a sales tool. And that's what a media kit's all about. Also, friends, as we walk through these ideas today, recognize that 78% of people are visual learners, okay? 78% of people are visual learners. So what you're going to see in the examples today that I'll give you and the 10 ideas for success, you've got to use more visuals. The media kits that contain visuals are so much better than those that are full of prose and text. Remember, publishers out there, editors that might help. These are sales tools. This is not supposed to be a book. All right. Now, you do want to represent yourself well, but it's not supposed to be a book. Now, last time we did this, about a year and a half ago, the first idea I gave you is the same idea I'm going to give you today. Friends, why in the world are you creating media kits in portrait format, in up and down format? Every media kit should be designed in landscape format. Why is that? Okay, look at your screen. Your screen is landscaped. Most every advertiser, media buyer, ad agency, company is going to look at your media kit on their screen of their computer. Someone the other day said, well, you know, Ryan, I believe that most people are going to look at my media kit on their cell phone. Unlikely, probably not going to happen. Media kits are almost always consumed on a desktop device or a tablet device. That's why you want to create it in landscaped format. I mean, look at this media kit. It's in portrait format. Look at this media kit. It's in landscaped format. So friends, those of you, if you still have time, your designers are going to hate me, but you've got to design your media kits in a landscaped format. And the reason for it is just pure use. It's very important. So let me put it to you this way. If I'm going to be doing a Zoom meeting with you or a GoToMeeting like we're doing today, and I'm trying to share a page of the media kit with an advertiser of mine, this is what it's going to look like if it's in portrait format. Or I've got to zoom it down so small that I can't even see it. So you've got to design all your media kits in landscaped format. As a matter of fact, little side note, I downloaded some of your media kits to maybe include in this presentation. If your media kit wasn't in landscaped format, guess what? It got thrown out. It got thrown out the door. I didn't use it because I couldn't read it on my screen. I had to zoom in and zoom out. Crazy kind of things to be able to fix super easily. All right, number 2 for U of 10. Your editorial calendars need to be more than text. Now, I'm one of those people that could actually contend consumer magazines or B2B, which by the way, we'll have examples of both today. I'm one of those people that actually could contend that you don't even need to put your editorial calendar in your media kit. What? Why wouldn't we do that? Well, the reason is because what we've done over the course of time is we have trained our advertisers to buy from our editorial calendar, which in turn what it does is it limits what they're going to buy to our editorial calendar. Now, I know for some of you this is quite the stretch to even potentially consider this. So don't throw the baby out with the proverbial bathwater here. Don't send me a bunch of hateful comments across the webinar screen here, because I know that a lot of you are going to need to do this anyway. So I'm going to give you some ideas, but just consider this. During the Great Recession, 06, 07, 08 into 09, people really focused in and only buying the editorial calendar because they were unlimited budgets. They got really hooked on it. For a lot of you, your business has been built selling the editorial calendar. Friends, what you're doing is you're not selling your audience, you're selling edit. And your editorial is important, don't get me wrong, but quite honestly, I'd almost rather sell the audience than sell against the editorial calendar. Now, if you are going to include it, which, you know, a lot of you are, then I think you need a lot more than text. Here's one of my favorites. Let's get to the media kits, right? Here's one of my favorites. I competed when I was at Penwell, when I worked with the Journal of Emergency Medical Services, some of our fire brands. We competed against EMS World. And one of the things that I really admired about EMS World was their media kit. It was always really visual and it was great. So a couple things to point out to you on this editorial calendar. One is you notice the bonus distribution at the bottom. So whether you're a B2B or consumer brand, a lot of times you have bonus distribution. Look at how cool they display this. So if you buy in the March issue, or if you bought in the March issue, the editorial content is going to be around acts of violence, active shooter, trauma. It's also going to be distributed at the Gathering of the Eagles, which is a huge, huge gathering of EMS doctors, Firehouse World, great event in LA, as well as their event, EMS World. So I really like the way that they displayed the extra distribution at the bottom as well. The other piece is the visual element of all of these different months. It makes it easy for me to see. It draws in my eye. I'm not a trained designer, but maybe you're like me. I know good design when I see it. And for me, when I look at this, I really, really like what they've done. They've done this for many years. They do a great job with it. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's visual, and I think it's an editorial calendar that all of us, consumer or B2B, should really pay attention to. All right, for you consumer people that are feeling left out, okay? So here is the Food Network magazine, their editorial calendar, and I skipped lunch today in preparation for this webinar, and I'm really hungry now. But you look and you see how the foods line up with the categories. So for example, if you look at July, August, they've got these amazing sliders, and the topic is going to be outdoor eating, the outdoor eating issue. If you look at Jan, Feb, you'll see it's the superfood issue. So you've got pomegranates and that kind of thing. So what they're doing is they're able to tell you a little bit about what's in the edit calendar, but notice they're not getting super, super deep into the edit calendar. And the reason I believe is because it gives them a lot of flexibility. The other thing is we're selling audience. And friends, we really got to pay attention to that. Selling audience way more than selling editorial. Some of you though, friends, if you keep selling traditional media in traditional ways, you're going to get traditional results. I mean, you just are. Somebody just chatted this question across, and oh boy, I'm gonna have to get where are my glasses at? I don't even know where they are. I'm gonna squint. Our publisher requires that we sell editorial and special sections. So what then? Good question. First of all, do what your publisher says, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is it's become a part of our business. It just is a part of our business. So from a sales training perspective, I would share with you that what I do is I call people maybe about the special section, but it's my hook to have a longer conversation about the audience. And so all of my decks, all of my information is very, very audience focused. So idea number 2 for you, add visuals to the mix of your editorial calendar to draw people in to what it is that you're really talking about. Okay, idea number 3, salespeople out there, you're gonna love this, okay? Show what the advertiser is buying. Show it in pictures, all right? So we all know that advertisers, some of them shouldn't even be able to run their own business, or they can't, much less make marketing decisions. So we've got to treat them a little bit childlike, to be honest. We've got to guide them with pictures. So if you were going to buy sponsored content from this brand, what you would see is this is what it actually looks like. So this is our friends over at Rob Report. This is from their media kit that's landscaped. So if you're going to buy native content, some of you call it sponsored content, this is what it would look like. This is how it would be represented on a tablet. This is how it would look on a phone. This is how it would look online. This is how it would look in a newsletter. Remember, you know, almost 80% of people are visual learners. We need to be able to show people what it looks like. Now, sponsored content, native content, it's not new, but for a lot of folks, you know, it is kind of new. So I think it's important for you to be able to show what it is and how it looks. Now, from a design perspective, I like this page. There's not a lot of text. There's plenty of white space. I remember a teacher, mentor of mine, his name was Charlie Hunter. And I remember him always saying, as we learn to landscape, it's how I put my way through college, being a camp counselor and a landscaper. Less is more, Ryan. I kept wanting to put more bushes, more flowers. Less is more. My mom, who is an interior decorator, less is more. Always decorate in groupings of 3, you know, things like that. So I think it's very important to be able to do a good show and tell. This is our friends over at Roast Magazine. Those of you that know me know that I carry around a Keurig with me, or not a Keurig, a Yeti coffee cup all day long. I love coffee. So we're showing them What does the daily coffee news look like? What does it look like on a tablet? What is the monthly viewers? What do they look like? What does the audience look like? What did the banner ads price? How do they price out? It's very straightforward when you want to be a part of the daily coffee news from Roast Magazine or by Roast Magazine. It's very obvious what it is that you're going to potentially get. From our friends over at North Coast Media, and let's see, this is their Golfdom newsletters. And these guys do a great job. They show you everything that you're going to get. I mean, look at these newsletters. This is what you're going to get. This is what it's going to look like. This is how you would be included. So here on the right, one of my favorite ideas ever. So I'm so glad that these guys took that idea and ran with it, made some money. Product spotlights. I love that idea. 10,000 subscribers, 20% open rate. Right on, guys. That's great. 20% open rate. What's the click-through rate? What are the ad sizes? What does it look like? Oh, I love that. Digital dominance. Right on. Here's the cool thing about this page. There's a ton of white space, yet they've represented a lot of information. So here's their e-newsletters. Here's what you get. Here's what the target is. I love this. Often offers highest open rates. There on the bottom left. And all of these are great examples. A lot of the media kits I downloaded today for the presentation that didn't get used either were in portrait format or were written like a magazine. Way too much text. I don't know what you would really take off of this page. Kind of you need to show all the information that's here. But I love the fact that as a media buyer, a media planner, I can see exactly what it is that I'm going to get. It's the essence, friends, of self-service sales. Really, really important. Same thing when we look at the daily coffee news by Roast Magazine. It's very easy to say, what is it? What's the cost? How do I get in touch with you? What are your visitors look like? What's it look like on the screen? I mean, it's pretty darn straightforward. Show your advertisers what they're going to get in the media kit so they don't have to guess. Remember, 78% of people are visual learners. They're not going to read. Let's be honest. I mean, do people read anymore? Really? Not many that I know of. Here's another one. This is from Landscape Management magazine. And by the way, even if I show a B2B example, hey, consumer people, pay attention because some of your media kits are trash. I'm just being honest with you. Some of them are bad. Some of them I downloaded and thought, oh my goodness, how are you using this? Check this out. So if you're going to buy the snow and ice guide, okay, then you're going to get 23,000 unique subscribers, 41,000 additional subscribers. This is what the guide looks like. If your product's going to be included, this is what it would look like. They've got their audit information here. They're the only media brand auditing snow and ice removal services. Excellent. When are the dates of these supplements? What do the materials do? And I love this page. Super straightforward. If I had 3 supplements, I might have 3 pages like this. Here's the cool thing. As a sales rep, first of all, really like these guys and I'd work for them any day of the week. But for me, this is a one sheet that I can use. I can send this to my advertisers as a one page. I mean, let's back up. I could send this to my advertisers as a single page. I could send this to my advertisers as a single page. So publishers, give your salespeople a complete media kit, but then also give them a media kit without page numbers. Give them individual pages so we can use these. We can build decks with these. Here's the cool thing about something like this. I am able to use this in a slide deck presentation, and it's well designed. This looks great. So if I'm meeting with an agency, I can stick it up on my GoToMeeting, Google Hangout, whatever. If I'm going to mail it to somebody, it looks great. Just get a laser printer. Now, all my friends that are in the printing business, they're going to be mad at me for saying this. Sorry, friends. I don't print many media kits anymore. Get a laser printer, print them out. We're sending so much digital. If you're going to send it digital, man, make sure it looks, really, really great. All right, number 4, big question that's been popping up here on the chat channel. So thanks for it. And we're going to get to a lot of your questions here in a minute. Make your distribution model really clear. Okay, make how your magazine is distributed, picked up, read, or whatever. Make sure it's really vividly clear, friends. So unbelievably important. So again, from Roast Magazine, I love this. I love this single page. First, it makes me want a cappuccino. but the other is it's so straightforward. Now, a lot of you would represent the same information in a paragraph of text. Don't think it's necessary. So 9,000 printed and digital magazine copies distributed per issue. I believe it. Looks good. Circulation, 40% roasters, okay? 32% coffee house retailers, 23% pure roasters only, 3% distributors, 2% allied. I kind of want to get the magazine, just even if I'm not a roaster. U.S. distribution, 36 on the West Coast, 26 on the East Coast. Worldwide, 1,000 copies circulated internationally to more than 70 countries. So you could represent this in a paragraph. I just don't think people are going to look at it, to be quite honest. I think this is so much better. A point of note, as I see on the right side of the screen, why do readers read roast? In my opinion, just from I don't even know that you need that paragraph that's there. The fact that the coffee is there is awesome. It looks really great, guys. This is just a good single one sheet that I can use to talk about, how I'm distributed. Let me give you another example. This is from Florida Home and Garden magazine. And so where we are, so obviously there's the Florida coast. Affluent mailings, so mailed to affluent residents in Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade County. If you don't know those people there, that's pretty an affluent area. Newsstands, so we've got Publix, Barnes & Noble, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International Airport, great to know. So that's newsstand. Specialty distribution in affluent retail areas. So if you don't know it, like in Fort Lauderdale, Los Olas Boulevard, very affluent. Luxury condo distribution, love to know that. In-room hotel distribution, it looks pretty darn good. In-lobby hotel distribution. So if I'm a buyer, you're answering my questions here. I mean, I'm able to see what this all looks like. Now the comment just came across. Do you need all of the text that's there? Do you need all the text that's there? A good question. I would say that I guess I'm 50-50 on that, because truly the answer is probably no, but I'm going to guess that the folks there at Florida Home and Garden, I'm going to guess Donna or whoever it is probably gets those questions a lot. And so that's why they list it out. But I think you might want to ask yourself on this page, I love it, by the way, you might want to ask yourself on this page, how often do people ask us exactly where it's distributed? The other thing you could do on this page is list the brands of the hotels. So you could put Hilton, Marriott, Publix, Whole Foods, that kind of thing. That might work as well. But still, it's a great job of detailing for me in South Florida where this magazine is going to be distributed at. Let's take a break for some coffee real quick. Thank you, magazine manager. Newspaper manager, appreciate you folks over at Mirabel Technologies. Don't forget to check out their new update. If you don't have it rolled out yet, reach out to your software consultant for that. All right, number 5. So after distribution, number 5, a lot of you have events. So you really want to keep your event details clean and visual. All right, keep your event details clean and visual. It's very important for us to be able to show just on one page really what it is that we're talking about. So again, from my former competitor over at EMS World, these guys just do a really nice job. So this is the largest EMS event in partnership with Name It, the date of it. But what I'm immediately drawn to is not all of that. I like the fact that I can see all these people, this entire crowd of people. It's really big. But what I love is the circles that are here. 5,700 attendees, 330 exhibitors, 1,800 agencies, 51 countries. 98% of attendees visited the expo exhibition hall. So that must be a problem that they know they've figured out how to solve. 92% of attendees, products and services have some type of value. 92% of attendees said product and services were of value. 75% of attendees plan to make a purchase with an EMS World Expo exhibitor. That's great. I might put that one bigger and kind of in the middle. Then they've got a testimonial, which we're going to get to in a second. Testimonials are so unbelievably important. And so you've got to put testimonials on nearly every page of your media kit. I'm going to show you what some folks in St. Louis are doing with that here in just a second. But this is great. I mean, so if you've got a local event, what a lot of people do wrong, in my opinion, is they try to stick all their events on one page. Be careful about that because events are big revenue for a lot of you. They deserve their own page. Now, if you do 50 events or 20 events, that might be difficult to do. But if you can break it down like this, I think the goal for some of you should be, what can I do to create a single page that my sales reps can use during the sales process? Also, keep in mind, if you give me the media kit in broken out pages, then what I can do is I can build a slide deck with that so that I can share it. Now, if you don't know how to merge PDFs and things like that, there's online resources to do that. But some of you need to get great at PowerPoint. Just pull these slides, in and out of PowerPoint or Keynote or whatever it is that you're using. What also works for me in EMS World's Media Kit is the reverse text and the contrasting colors. So clearly a great designer with a great eye for design is designing these because they've put quite a bit of, of text there. Now, what I would suggest on this particular page is I truly believe that this testimonial down here is awesome. It is on white so I can read it, but I feel like there's about 50% of this text here in the middle. I feel like they could probably get rid of it because quite honestly, I don't know that it's that important. Those red circles, that's what's important. So everybody doing events, find a simple way to be able to focus in on what are the main sales points and be able to get those across. But I love that testimonial in white down there, friends. That's pretty cool. That's really great. Okay, number 6 of 10. A lot of you have marketing services. And when you have marketing services, oftentimes it's difficult to explain what it is that your marketing services group does. Same thing for programmatic. It's difficult to kind of explain what's the complexity of all of this. And I think what you've got to do is you've got to do a nice job with visuals, and then you've got to use bullet points, because marketing services, programmatic, some of your digital offerings, I think it's important for you to be able to represent it in a clean, visual way. There's really not a good way to represent these things without explaining it. So from our friends over at Backpacker magazine, so they have what's called Catapult Creative Labs. Catapult's mission is simple: to facilitate dynamic customer conversions, or conversations rather, to achieve your marketing goals. They'll co-curate targeted messaging and tap the experts and technology of AIM, which is Active Interest Media's enthusiast network. Creative, credible, connected. So if you're going to do custom content, native advertising, blogs, influencer networks, they list out below each one of these things the different things that the Catapult Creative Labs are doing. Video and TV production, short form storytelling, native content creation, branding and corporate storytelling. Now, friends, I know somebody just chatted across, you're violating, too much text, Ryan. I don't know that there's an easier way to explain video and TV production without showing these things. I mean, I guess you potentially could just show video and TV production. I guess you could do that. But I like the fact that they've kind of bulleted this out. I'm drawn to what it is that I want to look at: lead gen, simple name, email capture, research services, marketing studies, focus groups, data services. I guess what I might do is look, is there things I can do to condense these into maybe just 4 areas? I doubt it, but maybe that's possible. Some of you, though, you got a good idea out of this, and that is, if you're out, you can outsource a lot of this. You don't have to build your own creative services group. So if you don't want to do your own programmatic, you can contract that to somebody like January Spring out of Denver. If you want to do research, but you don't want to have to do all the research yourself, you can outsource telemarketing or research to groups like out of Texas, OpenLook Business Solutions. You can just outsource, those type of things. If you're looking for data, like data services, you can get that data from your auditing company, or you can get that data from ad seller. If you're looking to outsource, design of those ads, you can again use OpenLook. So some of you, marketing services, I think you've got to ask yourself, can we afford to do it in-house? A lot of you can't. So then just find vendors that will help support you in a white label way. And here you go, boom, you've got all kinds of visuals here. So Backpacker's got a great media kit. I could show you 5 or 6 pages from that media kit just in and of itself. All right, number 7, I mentioned this. Testimonials, they're critical. Testimonials are critical. You need to make them big. You need to make them bold. You know, they need to be on almost every single page of your media kit. And I think it's important. This is an example from St. Louis Magazine and their media kit that's coming up. And they do a great job of showing testimonials. So for example, here is an example from one of their advertisers, Jason Robinson and Big Cedar Lodge. And they've got this gorgeous picture. They have this huge testimonial. The team at St. Louis Magazine has truly helped us reach the market in and around St. Louis that we want to reach. From traditional media to digital platforms, SLM offers solutions that drive business to our doorstep. I mean, I think the only thing, if you're going to do testimonials, friends, I think the only thing I would add to that is maybe add a picture of who Jason is so that people can see that. But I think it's represented well, it's landscaped, you've got all this great information about your brand, 700,000 average monthly page views on the website, 185,000 reach on social, your events reach almost 4,000 people, e-newsletters at 14,000. You know, this is a great way. Now remember, the other way that it was represented back here was at the bottom with a testimonial. And I would say to the folks at EMS World, love your media kit, but even more testimonials. If you had a picture of Rick Binder or Binder there, I think it just adds credibility to the mix. So you might, really consider that. I think it's great. When I asked Jarrett, who's the publisher there, can I include this in the presentation? He said, yeah. It's just a great example of some white space. I mean, they've basically taken a lot of information and put it into one digestible page. I know at Franchise Update Media, Gary Gardner and his group, they've got testimonials basically on every other page, or they've got industry profiles of industry professionals that are a part of their network on almost every other page. Most of the media kits that I downloaded to make a part of this presentation, the vast majority of them didn't have any testimonials. And if they did, they didn't have any photographs of the person that the testimonial was from. Somebody just chatted across. There's a lot of questions, by the way. I can't get to all of them. I'll do my best. How do you get the testimonials? Here's what I do. I actually will write the testimonial for my advertiser. So I'll write it and then I'll send it to them and say, hey, would you mind if I included, I'd like to include a testimonial from you. Now in advance, I'm going to know this person. They're going to have said things to me like, Ryan, I love working with you, or I love this magazine, or I love being a part of your event. And I might say to them, hey, I'd love to get a testimonial from you. They usually will say, sure, awesome. And then I'll write the testimonial for them. I'll send it to them and say, hey, is it cool? Would you say this? Is this cool? I would say that 9 times out of 10, they'll make like one little change and say, yeah. The majority of the time, they'll write it back. Side note, when I'm getting recommendations from people on LinkedIn, I'll give them like a paragraph of, hey, could you give me a recommendation? Maybe something like, and I'll give them a paragraph. And most of the time, they'll just use that in the recommendation. So I think the testimonial piece is super important in all of your media kits. I think that's a big takeaway for everybody. Number 8 of 10, super important for you to show your audience. You've got to show what the audience looks like. Don't tell what the audience looks like in text. You've got to show what the audience looks like. It's so unbelievably important. So from Shape magazine, so it's saying here, she is an ideal target. And so this has got a picture of their reader. So it's got the age, attended grad college, married, employed, a mom, and then it shows with MRI, it shows, how high they index, very, very high. I remember back in the days, my friend, Katie and Mary, they'll remember this, when I was working with horsecity.com, we'd actually show a rider. We'd show a Western rider in a cowboy hat. We'd show an English rider in their helmet and their really nice jacket. And we'd have arrows that would point to like their watch and their boots and their helmet and their hat and their jeans. And we would show what our reader looked like. This is who you're trying to reach. And it was super helpful. People they really got it, especially if you've got an audience that can be confusing. So if you've got an audience that, like in our case, we had English writers and we had Western writers. Well, there was a perception that we did a lot in the Western world because at that time, well, it still is, was owned by a company that was very big in the quarter horse business, Morris Communications. It's also important to help people understand, what does this person look like? Does this match my ideal demographic? So if families are who you're trying to reach, or who your readers are rather, then show it. If you've got a lot of diversity in your reader demographic, men, women, different races, etc., show what it looks like. And there's a lot of different ways to represent this. Golfdom magazine, the way that they represent their audiences by breaking it down into magazine, digital and mobile, e-newsletter, events. They're showing, what does it look like? And again, they're really pushing hard on the verified audience. And friends, if you're not audited, it's not expensive. There's several groups out there that can help you, whether it's BPA, CVC, verified. I mean, all these different folks can help you with this. And some audits are harder to pass than others, but an audit in a lot of cases is an audit that helps you. It's an independent third party. So, push it. If you're audited, make it known. So engage, I love this, engaged audience of qualified buyers. Love that. Through a diverse array of platforms and experiences, Golfdom remains the definitive media entity and partner to brands striving to make powerful connections with golf course superintendents. So if you're a person that's selling products, services, whatever it is, mowers, fertilizer, etc., equipment, to golf course superintendents, this is definitely, the way to show it. So their magazine, 22,000 readers a month, print, digital, pass along. Okay. Now you notice that, they'll give you the pass along number with that asterisk. There's a bunch of asterisks here. That's fine. To clarify. Digital and mobile, what does it look like? E-newsletters, events, social. What do these things look like? And I think it's important. Really, you've got to show your audience. Now, I don't necessarily know that they need to show a golf course superintendent. Okay, it's not necessarily probably going to be the best picture. It's going to be somebody in jeans, or khakis and a golf shirt, but I think you could. But what it's really about is their job. It's not as much about the superintendent as it is about the superintendent's job. In the previous example, it's really about the reader. It's about the woman. And so I think that's just slightly, a little bit different. This is Backpacker from their magazine to talk about print. So this is showing the readers. I mean, here is either a couple or friends that's out enjoying the backpacking lifestyle. They look good. They look young. It looks fun. 1.2 million total readership. 315,000 rate base, 25% women, 75% men. Median age, 47, 36% of that audience are millennials. 75% any type of college, married, kids, professional. Ooh, I like the average household income. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. It lets me know that they have some money that's there. What I really like, and I'd encourage them to make this bigger on the page, backpacker readers spend close to 40 minutes with each issue. That's awesome. I mean, I think I would declare that at the top. I'd make it big and bold for people that think print is dead. I mean, I don't know who says that. I'd like to find them and chase them down and meet them in an alley, to be honest, because look at these numbers. Print is dead, and Backpacker Magazine has 1.2 million total readers. Even if the rate base is 315,000, that is a ton. Okay, that's just a ton of readers. I like to say to people all the time, if you can, show your readership in a picture. I mean, if you can. I had the opportunity, I'm a big South Carolina Gamecocks fan, and we can only fit 60, 70,000 people in our stadium. I had the opportunity to go see a Michigan game with Andy Balch from Magazine Manager. And when you're looking at 102,000, or I'm sure he'll correct me, 103,000 people, that's a ton. I mean, imagine if you could show a visual of 3 times that. I mean, this is a tremendous base of readers. Even if you're a local magazine and you can say, we have more people that read our magazine than you could fit in Wrigley Field 3 times, or the Bears Soldier Field twice. or whatever the circumstance is. I like to show that in a visual because people will get it. Unfortunately, people don't get it without a visual. So I wish there was a way to represent 1.2 million readers in a visual, because I think that would be really good. This picture is great, but I think that would be even better than that. So, hey, there's a side note here, and the editors that are on the call today, there's probably not a lot of you, but please don't be terribly offended. A lot of your media kits out there, you've got an entire page dedicated to the awards that you have won. And I'm really proud of you for winning those awards. I would say that the vast majority of advertisers that I work with, quite honestly, they could care less about the awards. They're important. I love them, but I think they're represented here in the way that they should be. Dedicating an entire page of your media kit to the awards is more about making us as a company feel good than it is a sales tool. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on that, but I've been in the sales and marketing business doing nothing but media for 28 years. And out of 28 years, I can think maybe I could count on my fingers and toes the number of times somebody has said, man, the reason I'm involved with you guys is because of the awards that you have won. So I think that's probably something that's more important to us than to anybody else. Not all cases. I don't need any hate mail, all you haters out there. All right, number 9, it's really important to show your community, okay, and to show your total community. It's really, really important to show your total community. Again, you notice throughout this presentation today, I'm saying show, don't tell, show. Don't force someone to read. Think about you're targeting an 8th grader, a 3rd grader, a 5th grader with visuals and pictures. Because we know well over 70% of people, whatever it is, 76, 78, whatever I said earlier on the screen, you've got to make it visual. So showing the community, I think, is super important. So if you're going to show the community, what you've got to do is you've got to represent it usually in numbers, but you want to show it and not to put it in some big paragraph. So here's another one that's got the magazine. On the left side, you'll see here's the industry's largest audited audience. I had a couple examples today from landscape management because I just think they do a great job with their media kit. And also, friends, keep in mind, I mean, this is one guy's opinion. I mean, I'm not a designer. I was raised by one, but I'm really not one. I just know what works for me in sales. I've got some good visuals here to show the web, to show the computer, to show print, to show the phone. I can see the number of readers, 65,000. Very quickly, so within about 5 seconds, let's count it. So I've got 9, so I'm gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 91,000 readers, 65,000 in the magazine, 47,000 digital, e-newsletters. So what I'd like to do is I like to give myself a countdown as I'm reading of like 5, 4, so 91,000 readers, magazine at 65,000, digital and mobile 47, e-newsletter 44, social 34,000, about 5 seconds. And what I did is I didn't even read this paragraph. Okay, so for Craig and you guys, Bill, everybody that might be listening today, honestly, I don't even know that paragraph at the top is that important. I just skip right over it. I'm going to the numbers, right away. Not that it's not a great media kit, and thanks for sending it over. Here's another example from Shape magazine. I love this one. Showing me your readers. It's showing the readers. So I've got different age brackets of women. I think this is probably very representative of the age bracket. I'm imagining now when I'm looking at these pictures, it looks like all of these women are going to be, probably in the 40-ish or less age range, I'm guessing. Although we all know now, gentlemen out there, okay, don't ever ask a lady their age, right? But that's my guess, less than 40. So a spirited community. 6.5 million social followers, 5 million unique visitors, 11.5 million monthly page views. Come on, wow. 580 million video views, 500 plus on the social influencer network. Now, just to be clear, because some of you have made a couple weird comments, and I love you, but they're weird comments. We can't do this because we're not as big as these magazines. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is design, okay? This is design. So either freelance it, or find somebody to do it, or get on Fiverr.com and find a designer. Or, I mean, honestly, this one here, no offense to the designer, but I mean, this is something you could do in Photoshop or PowerPoint. I mean, I like it, no offense at all. But let's do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. So we did 5, so 6.5 million viewers, 5 million uniques, 11 million page views, 580 video views, 500 on the network. Yeah, so I can basically get a gist of this page in 5 seconds or less. It's kind of my rule of thumb. And maybe I'm wrong on how old these folks are, but if I am, I am, And so sorry if I got that wrong. Here's one from Stewart magazine, and I think this is great representation. So I like this. Now, granted, some of you're texting across things like, boy, that's a lot of numbers. I mean, it's kind of hard to have a media kit without showing numbers. Just get rid of a lot of the text. So here's their 360 reach. So they're going to get it from all angles. 600 on 5% a newsstand, 40% a condo distribution, 8% hotels, 11,000 monthly circ, 88,000 annual, 92,000 monthly print readership, annual digital edition page views, 318,000. Now I would say on this one, probably that you're not going to get the 5-second rule on this one, probably. It's going to take probably 15 seconds to read all this. So maybe it's something you can cut down and put on 2 pages. I hate to do that because I like to keep my media kits like 6, 10 pages, like max. 10 pages is like an eternity in media kit land. And keep in mind, I've said before on these webinars, a lot of times, I don't even sell from the media kit. I'll tell you why I don't sell from the media kit. Usually it stinks. Usually I don't like it. A lot of times media kits create more questions than they answer. So that's why I'm such a hater on media kits most of the time, because quite honestly, they're not that great. So when I look at these though, I'd use them. So I would say on this one, I don't know. Maybe I could do a page on distribution and a page on stats. I don't know. It's all good information. It's not necessarily bothersome to me in general. Sometimes people get a little crazy about verifying all the sourcing. You just kind of keep that at asterisks, kind of at the bottom, speak in generalities. But in general, I like this page. I think it would look good on a television if I was at an ad agency or a meeting and I needed to put it up on the screen. So, I like it. I think it's good. All right, last but not least is really not a design tip as much as it is a tip in general, is I shouldn't be able to download your media kit without giving you some information. And so almost every kit that's here, I could download without giving you anything. And so I think it's important for everybody to recognize how important it is to gate your media kit. Oh, but Ryan, I can't do that. Media planners will hate me. Nobody will fill the form out. Oh, come on. All right, it's very common. And I can tell you how to get around it. Super common. Gate your media kit, collect those leads, and those leads need to be emailed to your salespeople, and in less than 60 minutes, even on the weekend, you should be following up on those leads. I couldn't tell you how much money I have closed on Saturdays. People sit at their computers on Saturdays and they work. Now, maybe you don't work. Maybe you don't want to work. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to make as much money as the rest of us do. I don't know. But let me give you an example. So this is a big publisher, Randall Riley. They're great. Okay, great magazines, great company. So here is their page where you can access the media kit. Now, I would make a change here though. This form is excellent, okay? Super simple. First name, last name, email, company name, and what their role is. Now, I don't even necessarily need to know their company name because I can figure it out from their email address typically, unless they give me a funkymonkey@gmail.com or something like that. I like the little drop down they have down here at the bottom that says your role in the company. Good to know. But is it necessary? Yeah, I guess, but I could probably get away with that. I love though that they give you the option at the bottom there. Check it out. Sign me up for the Randall Riley newsletter. I think I'd want to be a little more specific, like what is that? But here's the way to get around that. Ryan, nobody will give me their information, whatever. Here's the way to get around that. See this box right here of text, okay, that's flashing on your screen, okay? All right, friends, over at Randall Riley, no one's going to read this anyway, that little box. So what I would do is I would replace that text with a box. And then what I would do is I would put this in the box. You will be granted immediate access to our complete media kit, including rates, by completing this simple form. Friends, I work with agencies, ad agencies, and marketers all the time. All the time, because I'm selling media just like all of you. What they don't want to do is fill out a form and then get a copy of your media kit without rates. Why would they do that? Now, probably 15 of you have sent across today. You've said, well, Ryan, why do we put our rates online? We have to defend our rates. We have to explain our rates. Well, if you have to defend and explain your rates, maybe there's another page in your media kit that needs to be redefined. Maybe you need to put some videos on the website to explain it. Very rarely do I meet a media buyer that says, I will not fill out the form, but if you give me rates, I will fill the form out. Somebody asked, now, how do you stop somebody from giving you funkymonkey at gmail.com? All right, here's what I would do. In this paragraph, I would add to it, I would say, we will email you a copy of our complete media kit, including rates, when you complete this simple form. Please no hotmail at Gmail or at, I don't know, whatever Gmail accounts, please, or something like that. I think they did say, like where it says email here, put business email, put at Gmail, at Hotmail, not accepted, if you want to do something along those lines. So here's what media planners have told me. They have said, if you'll give me the rates, I'll fill it out. Here's something for you, though. A lot of media planners, have said to me, hey, if I can't find anything on your website and I've got to call somebody, I'm out. Let me just be clear on that. A lot of media planners have said to me, if I can't find what I need on the website or by giving some simple information, I'm out. And what's interesting is the number of you that are on this call today that I went to your websites and what's listed is nothing other than contact us. That's it. Well, Ryan, we've got a unique story. So does everybody. Well, Ryan, we've got to defend our pricing. So does everybody. So what you've got to do is step it up a little bit. This form generates a lead. I have a client in Texas. They added a form to their website. They went from not knowing how many people were downloading it to 20 forms a month were completed. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you were to ask some of my favorite clients, like Lessiter Media up in Wisconsin, if you were to ask them, they get leads every month. And it's one of the most important pieces of the sales process. Follow up on those leads pretty darn quick. Somebody asked, what's the basic information? I would say the basic information, in my opinion, I don't need first name, last name. I just need their name. So that could be one box. Email address. Why are you asking for their phone number? They're going to put in a bunch of ones. They're not going to give it to you. So get their email address. Plus, use any of your tools, hunter.io or the marketing manager or whatever to find the email address. It's not like you're trying to find the Taliban. It's not that difficult. The company name, I can usually get that from the .com name. Your role, I don't know about that one. I probably wouldn't do that, but make it easy, make it super simple, really for people to sign up. All right. So where do you grow from here with these ideas? I think number one, start with the salespeople. Ask them what they need. Don't design a kit and then throw it to them and say, go out and sell something, would you? Get on out there, get something sold. You guys need to work smarter, not harder, or whatever. Just start with the sales team and sit down and really ask them, what can we put? What are people asking for? What's important to have in this media kit? I think that's number one, is a really important thing. Secondly, landscape your media kits. Third, remove as much text as you possibly can from the media kit. Replace that with visuals. And then go online and search for magazine media kits, just like I did, and download those. And as I come across great ones, I share them with my clients. And it's something that's very, very important for us all to do. So let's end with what we started with, the quote from Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking and start doing this. Okay, have the debate or whatever, but get on it. Some of your media kits are horrific. You've got to fix it. It should be your primary sales tool. And remember, break that media kit apart into individual pages without numbers and give me a media kit that's complete with all the pages. So as a salesperson, I can use it in my sales presentations and really kind of how I see fit. And I think that's, important piece. All right, so let's wrap up. The webinar today would never be free, okay, except for the fine folks over at Mirabel Technologies, the magazine manager and the newspaper manager. If you're a customer, reach out to them. Get a hold of Mark or Andy or Chris or Dennis or Susan or whoever it is that you work with, and and tell them, hey, thank you so much for sponsoring those because they're very helpful. And the other piece is, if you're not using a CRM, you need to be using a CRM. It's so important to the overall sales of your entire company. And then also, as you reach out, ask them to see what's new, because the CRM you might have seen like a year ago, it doesn't look anything like it does today. It's ram dazzle. I think you'll absolutely love it. All right, friends, if I can do something for you, my name is Ryan Dohrn. My company is Brainswell Media. My contact info is there on the screen. I'm a couple months booked out, so if you need me to come in, and train your team, get with me as quickly as you can. Head over to 360adsales.com is where you'll find all these webinars. And within the next 24 hours, you're going to receive a replay of the webinar and a full copy of all the slides that I presented today. Hey, thanks for being here. Have a great Friday. Your support of what I do is really, really important to me. My family thanks you. And we just can't tell you how much we appreciate all your support. And again, reach out to Mirabel Technologies, magazine manager, newspaper manager, and tell them how much you appreciate it. All right, happy Friday. And remember, friends, if ad sales was easy, everybody be doing it. And they're not. So we're either crazy, which is possible, or we found a career that will feed our families for a lifetime. All right, God bless you all. Get out there on the street and sell something, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.